Hi all, this is Manoj Kumar here to share with you about the concepts called robotics, which is most needed in this time period. What is the robot? An explorer of the ocean floor, a pioneer in outer space, a fast food cook, a coal miner, an auto worker, a surgeon assistant. A robot can be all of this and more also. Of course, a robot is a machine, but a very special one. It is also an independent being. For centuries, the idea of a robot has included our powers to think, create, and control, the skills we believe make us unique among the creatures of the earth. So, this is about an introduction of the robotics, and in this semester 3 we are going to discuss about these concepts only, about the robotics, and the course code 18U3 CTA 303, and course objective is to gain knowledge in robotics and its application in the real-time environment. Course outcome of the particular course robotics, we have understand the basics of robots family tree, describing the robots in real time. Of course, the third course outcome, application of robots, and the fourth, correlating the robots with the society, and course outcome for 5, analyze the biological foundations of the reactive paradigm. To achieve these course outcomes, we have framed the syllabus also. So the syllabus 1, unit 1 goes like this, like the robot family tree, anatomy of a robot. To refer the textbooks, we have Ellen through Robotics, the Manager of Computers and Machines, with the title, publishers Universities Press 2000. Next, as earlier said, what is a robot? We have mentioned earlier itself. So the modern definition of a robot classify it as a machine with these parts, like a program that tells it what to do, an arm, hand, or other moving part that performs a special useful actions like lifting, assembling, or moving something. Sensors, one or more sensors, so it can tell the difference between what it's working on and everything else. A decision maker to decide whether to perform the action. A controller which is in charge of overall operations. The video which is shown at the side says an example of a robot, what it does using these definitions. The family tree, like it starts from automatons, then manipulators or machine tools, computers and artificial intelligence, and science fictions, which starts from the 4,000 years ago until today. So all this tree says that from marionettes, talking statues, mechanized clocks, automatons, and recently now we are in a robotic world. Like the first robot, dancing dolls and speaking statues. Marionettes are puppets with strings attached to their joints so that a person can make them move. In ancient Greeks, statues that talked were used to bring messages from the next world. That was the belief earlier they had. And then moving to the next, in 16th century, it has automatons. Robot is a 20th century word, and modern computer-driven robots are of this century. But people have been building self-operating systems for centuries. They are called automatons. That is powered by air, water, or mechanics. The image shows that it is being developed with help of mechanics. We have battery, cell, and everything. During the 18th century, alive or not alive? Like the picture says that it was being developed by a French inventor, Jacques. Two of the most lifelike of these automations were a flute player and a duck. Both the creations have been developed on 18th century. So during 18th century, the inventors were trying to answer the questions by building automations that were amazingly lifelike. Later, automations were mimicked. Living systems were built during the 18th and early 19th centuries. The main purpose was to entertain the public and of course to make money. And moving to the next, what we recently, now we are dealing with computers. The history of a computers in a simple, crisp manner, like early the 19th century. A viewer named Joseph Mary Jacquard invented a punch card system for viewing elaborated signals. A few decades later, Charles Babbage, an English mathematician, see the combination, an English mathematician, invented a series of mechanical calculating machines. And later, we went to the vacuum tubes, first generation, second generation, third generation, everything we know. And now we know how the computer is. Even in a single small devices, we are able to do all computer activities. So this is just a simple history of the computers which we have come to know about. Next, moving to the topic called factory automation. Automation, the technique of making a process automatic, is a word that means different things to different generations. Self-defrosting refrigerators automated the process of hand chipping the ice that build up inside. And machine tools, the most popular. There have also been several generations of factory automations. The assembly line, popularized by Henry Ford in the 1910s, was a big step forward. Building a car had been a complex process. It required skilled workers who could make decisions. This change led to charges that workers were being turned into machines. At the same time, the system led to the next step in a factory automation. So these machines called to machine tools. So in the United States today, anything made two or more pieces of metal, wood, plastics or any other materials are probably produced with machine tools. These machines cut, drill and grind. The most accurate machine tools are computerized with numerical control. So what we are seeing in the machine tools image says the same. Next, moving to the topic of industrial robots. Some people may ask questions whether industrial robots are further fancier machine tools or there are real differences. In fact, the same machine can be called a robot in one country and a machine tool in another. But in general, robots are more flexible. Factory automation today depends on two things: decision making and flexibility. The next topic is more interesting, like fictional robots. So this image says of an early fictional robots from a picture called Star Trek, the commander data, where it was been initially developed like a fictional robots. So fictional robots, when does a robot behave so much like a person that it do is human? Do robots know what they are? What human qualities do they have? Can they acquire those qualities or get rid of them? So these questions apply to a favorite robot of the 1990s. What we seeing is as a Star Trek commander data. Next, interestingly, we have an image as from the clippings of the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. The Tin Woodman is really a crybot that began as a human. He replaced his human body parts one by one with parts of tin. The word robot appeared in 1921, coined by Czechoslovakian writer Karel Cappi for his play RUR, which stands for Rossum's Universal Robots. Robot is taken from the Czech word for forced labor. So modern fictional robots, moving to before to that, we have primitive early robots, and in 1940s and 1950s we have three development made for modern robotics is like reality computers artificial intelligence and study of systems. So modern fictional robot has come into an, like, the first robot to capture the public's affection was a Roby in the 1950s film called Forbidden Planet. And we are coming to a conclusion with the questions that scientists and engineers want the next generations of usual robots to include advanced computers and artificial intelligence to be smarter. They will make more decisions and they may seem more human. Already, people are asking what the robots of the future will mean to our human skills, jobs, ethics, and freedoms. So these are all useful questions to keep in mind. And for these questions, we have a robotic humanoid Sophia, and earlier we have had an interview with Sophia, and that interview has been in YouTube. For your further reference, we can view to this YouTube and YouTube link. And if you have any other queries and discussions, you can contact me with the mail ID nacithod@nehrucolleges.com. Have a happy learning. Thank you.